Hello, this is Brad Lewis. I'm with Premier Marketing, and I wanted to thank everyone for being on the call today. We're excited to discuss Settlers Life Insurance Company and their final expense product that they have that actually sets itself apart in the industry. It's a great product with lots of benefits, not only for the consumer, your client, but also for you as the producer as well. Today on the call, I have Becky Brewster. She's a sales coordinator at Settlers Life, and Amy Smith may join us as well. She's the director of marketing. So at this time, I want to turn it over to Becky, and she's going to take us through why Settlers Life.
Thank you, Brad. Welcome, everyone. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. Just want to let everyone know that to keep the background noise, everyone is on mute. If you have any questions, you do have the option to type those in. It may be that some of the slides, the information that we cover takes care of it. If not, we'll be happy to get those covered. So let's go ahead and get started and talk about Settlers Life, who we are. So we're an established final expense company. Our predecessor company started in 1933 as Huff Cook. That is when insurance certificates were sold through captive agents, predominantly in Virginia. During the 80s, we continued to grow, and we decided to branch off so we could offer more products to more folks. So we became Settlers Life Company, insurance company. 1999, we became part of the NGL, or National Guardian Life family. And in 2017, we had some exciting things happen. We were awarded the registered trademark for America's Final Expense Company. And in 2018, we started using that on our marketing kit and the material. So if you've received your new partner kit, you have that. Of course, we're still Settlers Life. We just have the branding of America's Final Expense Company. As a company, let's talk about what we offer. So we offer final expense life insurance plans. We have a gold and silver, which are your immediate benefit products. We have a bronze and a bronze 2. As far as benefits and riders, we have a child, grandchild benefit, an accidental death benefit rider, an accelerated benefit rider. Now for payment options, we offer a lifetime pay, which is typically your most popular option because of course it allows folks to pay the cost of that policy over the course of their lifetime. We offer a single pay option, so if you have someone that wants to put a lump sum down on a policy and know that it's paid up, or a 1035 exchange, we can do that as a single pay. We also offer a 10 pay and a 20 pay option if you have someone that can afford a little bit more per month, or someone that is a parent or a grandparent that's insuring a child or grandchild and they can afford to pay a little bit more each month. They will have the comfort of knowing that policy is paid up in 10 to 20 years. Let's talk about our plans. So the Gold Plan is the best plan offered by Settlers. Again, this is an immediate benefit plan. We have coverage ranges from $2,500 up to $50,000. Of course, it depends on your age, and your age bands are displayed on your screen. With your Gold Plan, please keep in mind we have a 5-year look back on your health. Silver is another immediate benefit plan. Silver has a 2-year look back on the health. Now these plans range from $1,000 per month up to $25,000 in coverage benefits, going from 6 months up to 85 years old. Your bronze plan, this is for someone that you know is having health issues that you traditionally cannot get covered. For Settlers, this is an accommodation product. We want bronze to be less than 20% of the plans that you sell. This is a modified whole life policy, so this has reduced benefits during the first 2 years. Coverage goes from $1,000 up to $15,000, with your age starting at 40 years old up to 80. So this would be a plan you would use if you were in the home, and you had a husband and wife, and you had a husband that could qualify for the gold or silver plan, but you had a spouse that you knew would not. This would be a time when you might want to utilize that. The bronze 2 is also an accommodation product. This is only available in North Carolina. Again, the same thing, reduced death benefits for the first 2 years, coverage from $1,000 up to $10,000. Your ages for this are ages 40 to 75. Now with your bronze 2 in North Carolina, there are no health questions at all. So you just know that they're not going to qualify for silver or gold. You let your telephone interviewer know, and there are no health questions. So your child grandchild death benefit. This is a one-time benefit that your insured can use for the death of a child or a grandchild. This is included with all gold or silver policies. There is no additional cost. You don't have to collect any additional information when you're writing it. No additional forms or anything to fill out. Now, how this works is the benefit of this child-grandchild benefit is equal to the lesser of $5,000 or the benefit amount of the base policy. So this is an excellent tool that you have when you're out in the field selling, because this is just included on your gold and your silver policies. We also offer an accidental death benefit rider. This provides additional coverage if death results from an accident. There is a small additional cost. It can range anywhere from 80 cents up to $2. Now, the accidental death rider is available in an amount up to $100,000 if you have an insured that is at least 40 years old and they have at least $10,000 in benefit amount. If you have someone that is less than 40 or less than 10,000 in their benefit base amount, then the maximum coverage they can get for the accidental death is $25,000. Keep in mind, with your accidental death benefit rider, this terminates at age 80. We also have what's known as our living benefit. This is our accelerated benefit rider. Again, excellent selling tool. This is added to all gold and silver policies with at least $5,000 or more in coverage. Again, no additional cost. This is available if you have your insured that is diagnosed with a terminal condition or continuous confinement in a nursing home. So basically what this means, you have someone that has a $10,000 policy. They can accelerate up to 75% of that. They would receive $7,500 to cover the cost of whatever's going on, whether they're in a nursing home or something else is going on. The premium is then adjusted to the amount that is remaining. When the insured passes away, as long as the payments have been made, they get that remaining amount. Being part of the NGL family, we also offer the option to be able to write trust. We have an NGL funeral expense trust, or an FET, and an estate planning trust, or EPT. Now, with your funeral expense trust, this is more for asset protection. They know the money is going to be there for the funeral when it becomes time, and this allows them the comfort of knowing that generally the funds are excluded when you have Medicaid or SSI qualification. Maximum face amount is $15,000. With this one, your excess funds are going to be paid to the state Medicaid recovery program or to the estate of the owner. There are no fees for either one of these. Now, with your estate planning trust, the funds are not excluded from assets for your spend down for Medicaid or SSI until 5 years after assignment is made. Your excess benefits, or excess funds rather, can be paid to a named beneficiary or a charity. Your maximum face amount is $50,000. Now, keep in mind, again, there's no fees with this. This is a great way. It's less likely for your business to be exchanged or for it to fall off the books or be replaced. As long as they're making a payment, it's not going to fall off the books. They have that comfort of knowing that they are taken care of along with their family. Now, how do you do business with Settlers? So let's talk about how you do your applications. We offer ExpressApp and PaperApp. With both of these, you meet face-to-face with your client. Remote selling is not available at this time. The great thing about ExpressApp, you do not submit a paper application. You complete your application, you go out, you meet with them, you get an idea of what they qualify for, you give us a call. We're going to collect the signatures for you, banking information, and beneficiary information. With both of these, you get your underwriting decision. Usually that comes in about 8 to 9 minutes in the call. Now, with a paper app, you're going to have to complete that application that you have. You're going to collect the information and signatures, and then you will have to fax that in or send it to us by snail mail. Now, keep in mind, in cases where you have someone in power of attorney or guardianship exists, we would still need a copy of that paperwork. We need that to maintain with the file and to review. If there's any other occasion when you would need something faxed in, your telephone interviewer would let you know. So let's discuss in detail the ExpressApp. Again, this entire application process and the interview takes place over the phone. You're going to get that underwriting decision and policy number before you leave the client's home. Now, your Express application. You have your worksheet up here, and again, you'll notice at the top that it indicates that it is not required to submit this to us. This is more for your records. So what I encourage you to do is start at the top and go down to become familiar with the process. This will tell you the flow of the call. You have your worksheet, and then you also have the application page shown. We'll cover that in just a moment. Now, with your ExpressApp, the worksheet that we're looking at right now, have them go ahead and get their banking information out. Go ahead and get the beneficiary information. These are things that if you don't have, can slow your application process down, so it would take a little bit longer while you're on the phone. Now, in order to do business with us and use the ExpressApp, you must have your client's Social Security number to complete it. If they don't have it or don't know it for any reason, you cannot use ExpressApp. And again, our ExpressApp is not approved for remote sales. You still physically have to meet with the client, go through your underwriting process, and then give us a call to complete your ExpressApp. Now, for settlers, the decisions that we're going to offer is going to be approved as applied. So let's say you have someone, they apply for gold, and they get approved. That's approved as applied. Counteroffer, you apply for the gold, and they're approved for silver. We'll let you know that in the call, typically, again, during the first 8 to 9 minutes, so you know what's best for your client. A refer to underwriting. That is typically going to be driven by settlers, your telephone interviewer, or by you, the partner. And it's typically for 2 reasons. There's medical information that the insured, your client, is denying while we're on the call, or there's medications that have come up that we're unable to discuss while we're on the call. Now, the refer to underwriting is typically less than 2% of the time, and of course, we'll go ahead and tell you if it's a decline. Declines are rare for us. And one thing to keep in mind, if you want to refer it because let's say they have a dual-use medication, you can refer that and we can research it more. If that means reaching out to the doctor, comparing information, we can do that. So if you have someone in the drug knockout list, indicates that a blood pressure medication can also be used, let's say for a heart attack, you can refer that and we can investigate it further. ExpressApp. Some of the questions that have been common to us when we roll this out is, can grandparents complete an ExpressApp? Absolutely. Minor grandchildren are acceptable. The grandparent needs to be, of course, familiar with the health and have that Social Security number. Do I have to send a voided check-in? If it is PAC draft first premium, your telephone interviewer is going to gather all that banking information. PAC is pre-authorized checking, so we're going to gather all that information while we're on the call. Now, if this is a direct bill or a PAC collect first premium, then if you're collecting that initial premium has to be sent in to us using your fax cover sheet, or you can mail it in. Of course, if it's direct bill, we need a cashier's check, money order, or something. Since you're already doing ExpressApp, you're going to have that policy number, so go ahead and include that if you're mailing your premium in. Occasions when you would not use ExpressApp. In cases when you have power of attorney, guardianship, or any type of custodianship relationship, and you have a client who is of legal age but cannot complete their own phone interview. And again, when the insured does not have or does not know the Social Security number. Can you use ExpressApp for companion applications? Absolutely. Each application, each app has to have separate paperwork. So if you have a 1035 policy and you want a life pay, that's 2 apps. Now, do you have to have that packet when you meet with your client? Yes, you do. Because within that packet are necessary forms and disclosures that you're going to cover with your client, have them sign anything. You're also going to leave whatever necessary documents with them. Can I do ExpressApp on bronze? Yes, absolutely. It is a tiered application based on the answers to the health questions. So you're just going to call in, and again, for bronze 2 was the example we used earlier. You would just say that they're going to do bronze 2, and we'll collect whatever information we need to get. But again, there's no health questions. So if it's other than North Carolina and it's bronze, of course, we would cover those 2 health questions and go ahead and collect everything else for you. Now, is this application available online? No, everything is done over the phone, so you don't have to worry about downloading anything to take up any space on your iPhone or your Android device or anything. You simply go do your field underwriting, get an idea of what they qualify for, give us a call, and we'll complete everything else for you. One thing I want to cover right now is you see highlighted in the center of your screen Direct Express. Direct Express is not currently available. So if you have someone and they want to use a Direct Express card, we're unable to use that. Also keep in mind that we are unable to take online banks such as Green Dot, MetaBank, the Emerald Bank cards. One thing I will say is absolutely working out just awesome. It's wonderful. We now do variable billing. So if you have someone, let's say they get a Social Security check or another type of retirement check on the 3rd Wednesday of each month, that's now available. So you can select no preference. If they have an existing, you can do match existing. You can select a specific day of the month, 1 through 28, or you can now do variable billing. Now, this is your fax cover sheet that I mentioned. So if you have someone and you're going to do PAC collect and you're going to fax that in, you're going to complete the top part of this fax cover sheet, including the date, get the name, of course, your name and your writing number. You have that policy number, go ahead and add it, and your payer's name. Now, the signature inside that box outlined in red needs to be the signature of the payer. You're going to attach a copy of that check with void on it and fax it in to us. Let's take a look at our questions. This is what we call a progressive application. You're going to use this to determine what plan your client qualifies for. So what you do, you start at the top. You're going to go down until you get your first yes answer for everything except that smoker question in section H, question 1. That question is simply for rate purposes. So I want you to make note, if you have someone, we're looking at the conditions, some of the conditions you see highlighted, but also, did they have this within that time frame, or are they being treated for or prescribed medication for? So let's say you have someone that had a heart attack 10 years ago, but as a result of that, they currently take medicine. So we look at things like that along the way as we go, not just the event that occurred, but the aftercare as well. One thing we're going to go over in detail is if you have an insulin-dependent diabetic, they may now be covered on the silver plan if they meet certain criteria. So make note on this application. You're going to go on down. In addition to everything except that smoker question, for gold, let's say they're not a diabetic, everything is going along great. They need to be able to meet height and weight. So let's talk in detail some of the questions that have come up. For cancer, if you have someone that's on a preventative medication, that does not disqualify them for a plan with us. We're looking at the date they were diagnosed to be cancer-free. That is the date that we're going to use. For heart conditions, we look at all the things that you see on the screen, and what we're looking for, again, is if they had any of these events and anything that they're being treated for or take medication for in that time frame as a result of. Now, if you have someone that has let's say they get an inhaler every month. For us, that's considered to be chronic asthma. If you have someone, they've been put in the hospital in the past for COPD, then more than likely that's a chronic condition. So we're going to take a look at that to see what are they taking, what are the treatments, and how long have they been having this. Now, if you have an insulin-dependent diabetic, if you have someone, let's say all they take is metformin and they control it by diet, that is automatically silver plan. If you have someone, they are insulin dependent, meaning they rely on that insulin. As long as they meet the following criteria, they might qualify for silver. They have to meet height and weight, be a non-smoker, and they cannot have been diagnosed with insulin dependency prior to age 50. Once we establish all of that, your telephone interviewers will then drill down to ask if they have any of the complications related to diabetes. And as long as they don't, then you might have someone that qualifies for your silver plan. As far as smoking, for us, if it's chewing tobacco or snuff, that's a non-smoker rate. If you have someone that is a pipe smoker, cigarette, cigar, or e-cigarettes, for us, that equals a smoker rate. Now for marijuana, whether it is medicinal or recreational purposes, that is no gold or silver with Settlers. Now, the prescription drug knockout list. Those are available online. You can review that. Let's say you have someone and they have a lengthy list of medications. I encourage you to take a look at that book so you can become familiar with it to understand what they will qualify for, because it will tell you what is dual use versus knockout. It will tell you in certain time frames, you know, if it's for that, what they qualify for. And you can also let your telephone interviewer know, well, you know, I have this person, they take lisinopril, but it is strictly for high blood pressure. We want to look at all of that with you. As far as your field underwriting, guys, you are literally our eyes and ears in the field. We count on you to go out and accurately report. If you have someone and they're telling you, no, I don't use oxygen, I'm in great health, but as you're looking around the room, you notice there is oxygen in the room. We want you to accurately report that information to us so we can go through with you to determine what's best for you and that client. So let's talk about how do you get paid. For your new business, you guys have told us that when you send in your contracting. It's either daily or weekly. Now, if you have someone and we're drafting the first premium, we pay commissions when that policy drafts. So you write a policy today, it is approved on Friday, but they need it to be the 25th of each month. Then your commission isn't paid until we draft that policy. Now, if you go ahead and collect first premium, we are going to pay your commission as soon as that policy is approved for issue. So you write the policy today, it's approved for issue on Friday, but they need to wait until the 25th. As soon as that's approved for issue, we're going to pay your commission, but the policy will not be issued until the specified date. So keep that in mind when you're collecting premiums. So one of the great things that changed recently is our partner website. So we're going to talk about my.settlerslife.com. So if you haven't gone to the website to register, I encourage you to do so. I'm going to leave this information on the screen so you can see what's needed. You're just simply going to go to that address that you see, my.settlerslife.com, and you're going to click on register, and you'll need that information, the 4 bullet points that you need. Now what this does, it allows you to see everything, all the enhancements that we've made. You do go through multi-factor authenticity, which is just a security measure for you to protect your information. So the website, what can I do at the website? You can access training. You can see your business, your pending business, your messages. You can take an AML refresher course. The trainings that we put out, Steve has recorded brain shark videos. If you have an area you want to review the videos, you can sign up for training. Now, again, this is at my.settlerslife.com. Now this one shows your new business tab. So let's say you send in a policy and you want to take a look at your business. You're simply going to go there. You can search by your new business, by the date range, policy search. You can search by the name, your policy number, your messages. Let's say you submitted something and we need to verify the city and state where the act was signed. We're going to send you a message. You view these messages out here, you mark them as read, and they go away. So let's say we have correspondence that we send out to a client of yours. So you're going to be able to pull that policy up. You're going to be able, of course, to see the policy, but you're also going to be able to see a copy of the correspondence that we sent out to them. So everyone will be on the same page. As far as statements, this is where you're going to go to see your commission statements and your pay vouchers. You have something that doesn't look right to you, take a look at it, give us a call. If partner support can't help you, it may be something we need to reach out to commission accounting. But again, we're all going to be on the same page. Now, if you have downline agents that report to you, you will also be able to see your downline agents. Another great thing on the website is we have the instructions for downloading the rate calculator. If you haven't downloaded that rate calculator, you are truly missing out because this is a tool. You don't have to have that rate book. No old school math with pen and paper or your calculator. You're simply going to access the internet, download it from your iPhone or your Android device, and once it's downloaded with internet access, you don't have to have it anymore. So if you're somewhere and you don't have internet, you can still use it. Now, what do you have to log into it? It's going to ask you for a user ID and password. It's the same credentials that you set for my.settlerslife.com. Another thing I want to make you aware of is not only does a rate calculator calculate like they want $10,000 in benefit amount. Let's say they're on a budget and they need it to equal a dollar amount. You have the option to select calculate affordable, and it's going to tell you the benefit amount that they would qualify for within that price range. You'll have that readily available, so if they change their mind, you'll be able to go back and forth.
All right, thanks, Becky. So now we're going to take a look at our marketing kit. So we have a brand new marketing kit that just hit the streets a couple of months ago. It really contains everything that you need to present Settlers Life to a partner in the home. I mean, this kit has everything from your sales brochure, which we'll go over in a second, to your magnets. The back of it has a great place to insert your policy. So let's take a look at the kit in its entirety. So the first thing is the sales brochure. Now, this is not a product brochure, so you're not going to find your gold, silver, and bronze information in here. All that's in your product summary in that ExpressApp kit. This brochure is really a great starting point when presenting Settlers to the client to help them understand why final expense life insurance is so important. It's really the only insurance that's required by law. We're going to walk them through the cost of final expenses, help them understand that they don't stay stagnant, that they do increase year after year, and then help them understand what they get when they get a policy with Settlers Life. So it's really an all-inclusive way to start that sales presentation. Next up, we have our flyers on the child-grandchild benefit, the accelerated benefit. Both of those benefits that Becky walked through a few minutes ago, those are included in there as well. You want to make sure, especially if you have that person who you know is going to qualify for a gold or silver policy with us, $5,000 or more for the accelerated, that they know that these benefits are automatically included. That should be a huge reason for them to keep that policy and not allow someone to come along and replace it at a later date. There's also a nice visual representation that you see there in the top right corner of the screen. We call this big check, small check. And it's a way for you to visually help that client understand that one small check or one small draft from their bank account each month is going to result in that one big claims check that comes when they would pass away to their beneficiaries. Next up is the planning guide. The planning guide, I'm sure you've seen a memorial guide or planning guide that you all have used while selling. This is the same thing, includes all of the information, planning pages that the client will need. It has a great summary page in the beginning where you can record the policy benefit and the premium amount. Talks about the consumer rights under the FTC funeral rule. Now, the FTC funeral rule is not directly tied to the Settlers Life policy, but it's really a way for you to provide information that the client probably doesn't know in order to build that trust, build that confidence with that client. It has a great set of end-of-life resources that will be beneficial for those dealing with the senior market. And then in the back of the planning guide, you're going to find 3 important numbers for the client, which we'll look at in a second, and there's also a place to insert your business card. Now, with Settlers Life, when you do sell that first application with us, you get 500 business cards for free. We'll throw that address up in the chat session here in a second, so you can go to www.settlerscards.com and order those 500 business cards after that first application comes in. The last, and definitely not the least part of the marketing kit, is the magnets. So with each marketing kit, you get a set of 3 magnets. One of those magnets needs to be left in your client's home. Put your business card on there. If you order those from Settlers, you can definitely use those. An example is there on your screen. There's those 3 important numbers. So the claims number that the family is going to need to call and report that claim, the policyholder services number, which is who the client is going to call to service the policy, and then that end-of-life assistance number. The end-of-life assistance number is something that we provide to you and to your clients free of charge. It's really a way for them to call in and ask questions. Maybe they need to know how to plan their funeral. They really don't know how to go about dealing with an aging parent that is having trouble taking care of themselves. Maybe they feel like they need to find some kind of caregiver in their area. If they want to call and ask those questions, we'll help point them in the right direction so that they can get those questions answered. Settlers doesn't provide those services, but we do help as a resource to help them do that research and to know what to do. So leaving one of those magnets with the client, taking the other 2 and creating referrals off of that will help to increase those sales off of that one sale that you have with Settlers Life, which will benefit you greatly by increasing those sales, because we have this great benchmark bonus program for every single partner contracted with Settlers. Now, folks, this is not a one-time contest. It is a way for you to earn extra money on top of your commissions that you're already making off that policy. So for example, if you're just starting out and you can write $4,000 in a month with Settlers Life, now that's net annualized premium, then you'll receive that $500 bonus. Now, receiving that bonus also depends on meeting our quality benchmarks. Now, those quality benchmarks are weaved through everything that we do here at Settlers. As a new partner coming in, you're obviously not going to have a 13-month persistency. You're not going to have a 3-month lapse because you've not been here for 3 months. But we're going to take you, we're going to just throw caution to the wind and say, hey, your quality benchmarks are going to be okay. So even that first month riding with us, you're eligible to receive that bonus. Now, if you get up into the higher bracket there with like $18,000 a month, that's an extra $2,500 on top of any commissions that you're receiving. I just reviewed our benchmark bonus payouts for the month of May, and it's very, very exciting to see more partners hitting those top levels. So it's very attainable if you're making Settlers Life your focus. Additionally, as a new partner, you have 2 other incentives available to you. One is the Expedition to Excellence. This is really a great way for you as a partner with Settlers Life and for us here at Settlers to learn more about you and to reward you along your way. So with Expedition to Excellence, when you write that first policy, we're going to reach out with a really nice gift, a note from Steve, our Chief Marketing Officer, and then a phone call to say, thank you for your business. It also gives us an opportunity to answer any training questions you might have or any issues that came up during that first application. And then we do that along the way. The top award for 150 applications, in the first 12 months is $1,000. So again, additional incentive money on top of those already great commissions. Last here is Destination Biltmore. So if you come out of the gates and write $15,000 in your first 90 days, we're going to send you on a 3-day, 2-night weekend to the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville is just about an hour and 45 minutes away from the Settlers home office here in Bristol, Virginia. So we're also going to drop you by the Bristol office. You'll have been with us 3 months by then, and you can meet those folks who you've been working with on the phone to get that business issued and answer any questions that you have. So it's a great time for us to see you face to face, develop that relationship more with our partners in the field. And then last but not least is our sales conference. So we're doing a totally different spin on our sales conference next year and allowing you to choose either a fun or sun location with your qualification for that conference. So it only takes $36,000 in net annualized premium to qualify. The qualification period runs from January to December with all policies that have that effective date with 2018. Now, this is a great time to be starting to push Settlers Life because you still have plenty of time to qualify for this. So when you qualify, you're either going to be able to choose between the fun location in Orlando, Florida, there at Universal Studios, or a sun location out in San Diego, California. Both amazing resorts. The weekend getaway that you earn here is all about you. So we have a recognition dinner, recognize you for your achievements, and then the rest of the time is yours. There's no business meeting, there's no required activities. So it is all about you choosing how you want to spend that time. So I've talked a little bit about partnership. Becky's talked a little bit about partnership. That's really our focus here at Settlers, is building that partnership with folks who are doing business with us. As a partner with Settlers Life, we do like to be positioned as number 1 or number 2 in your portfolio. We understand you're selling for several companies, maybe several lines of business, but with final expense, we do like to be up there near the top. That's going to increase that understanding of you that you have with the company and that we have of you as a producer with us. We are renewal focused, and with that focus on personalized training. So like today's call with the webinar, but then really every time you call into the Partner Support Center, our team of folks here are cross-trained across everything from contracting to risk assessments to web support, whatever it is. They're going to try to answer all of those questions that you have on that one call. If they don't know the answer, they're going to find it for you very, very quickly. So it is very much that partnership mentality here at Settlers Life. I talked a little about quality benchmarks. This really outlines them for you and helps you understand what we're looking at. Quality business is not going to only benefit Settlers, but it's going to benefit you as an individual producer, because if you have business that's sticking on the books, you're going to see those renewals continue to come in, whereas that renewal stream is going to be cut short really quickly if you have business that's not going to stay on the books. So as those quality benchmarks, we're really looking for Bronze applications to only be 20%, so 1 in 5 of those applications coming in we want to see as bronze. That's really because those folks are a higher risk, so we do like to see the majority of business coming in as gold or silver. 13-month persistency, we want to see over 75%. Most folks are familiar with persistency. Mortality, we do want to see less than 3%. Frankly, mortality is something that we typically don't see an issue with. As long as you're not going out and writing headstones in the graveyard, you're probably going to be okay. But keep that in mind, as that is something that we do watch with books of business. 3-month and 12-month lapse is a way for us to kind of an inverse of that persistency equation, but it allows us to look at that quality at the 3-month and 12-month mark. So after 3 months, we want to see that lapse ratio at less than 12%, and then 12 months, we want to see that one at less than 25%. And then last on there, we have time without production. We have less than 1 month, which really, it doesn't mean that we're going to terminate your contract after a month of no production, but we do want to see that production coming in. So after a month, we're probably going to be reaching out with a phone call, with an email going, hey, what happened? We got a contract, we got all excited about selling for Settlers, and we've not really seen any production. Try to understand that and get you encouraged into writing more with us. So just to sum that up, you've got a great staff here in the Partner Support Center. You've got that great website that Becky talked about. You got amazing first year and ongoing reward programs, competitive commissions, 100% vesting upon appointment. So day one, when you write that policy, you're vested in those renewal commissions as long as it stays on the books. And then last on there, we exist to pay claims. So at Settlers, we focus on our ability to pay claims quickly and to pay the majority of those claims submitted to us each and every year. I think for last year, we were at a little over 99% of claims submitted that were actually paid. It's something we understand that's why we are here, to pay those claims out to that beneficiary. Our claim department makes it a focus to pay those claims out within 24 to 48 hours after receiving all required documentation. So they're not holding it to pay them all at one time. They are definitely pushing those claims out as fast as they can, because we understand that your clients need that when their loved one passes away. So that really wraps it up. I don't see any questions that have came in, but if you have additional questions today, I'm sure you could reach out to Brad and his team, but then here's the Settlers information if you want to jot that down real quick. Becky, let's go ahead and put that a website in the chat menu so they can go out and order those business cards when they submit that first piece of business. So Brad, that's all Becky and I have, if you want to take it from here.
You betcha, Amy. Becky, thank you so much for joining us today on the call. It was a lot of valuable information. As you can see, Settlers is a great partner to Premier Marketing. They have a great suite of products available to handle all your final expense situations that you have with your clients. And they couple that with a great marketing system. So you really don't get a package deal like this anywhere, and Settlers is very unique in that way. So we really appreciate them being a valued partner to Premier, and we look forward to working with each one of you that are on the call today and helping you get that first piece of business with Settlers Life. So if you have any questions, please call the team here at Premier as well at 800-365-8208. We'll be ready to take your call. Thanks again, Amy and Becky, for your time today.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
Bye-bye.